All right, everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. So, starting off where we left off yesterday, I'm going to show you guys how to install a switched outlet right here with a surface, uh, with a industrial raised cover right there. So let's go ahead and start out. So first of all, I know my switch is not going to need a neutral, but I do know that my plug is going to need a neutral. And I'm just going to pigtail that just because I don't want anything going wrong. So I'm going to start out by taking my 14 wire, and then I'm going to also take off my ground because I'm going to need a second ground wire because this was just a normal plug before and the power is still off from yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and just tie these together real quick, and this will be for my plug. I do have some extra wire nuts in my bag. And I like to pull on these just to make sure that they are not going to come out. So that one's ready to go, just need to strip the end of that. And then I'm going to take my ground wire and a wire nut. Granted, I can grab one of these fast enough. So I'm going to add a second ground wire here, one for my switch, one for my plug or receptacle, whatever you want to call it. I just still call it a plug, I really don't care. Hate me all you want, but it is a receptacle. So anyways, I'm gonna add my second ground wire on there, so that's ready to go. And then I have my hots right here, so I'm gonna need to pigtail that. So I'm gonna pigtail that so I can have a constant hot on my switch, and then I'll take a switch leg from my switch itself, and then I will be ready to go. Grab another wire nut here real quick. Hopefully I didn't run out of wire nuts. So now I will have a constant power on this. This will be my constant power pigtail, which is going to go directly to my switch to always have power on the switch, as it should be. And then these are not going anywhere. I do have another wire nut, so that's good. Now I'm going to take a second black pigtail, or aka this will be my switch leg. And this will be for my switch leg on the switch itself. So I can go ahead and just put that right on here, tighten that down. And this will be going directly to my plug. So it's not going to be a half hot, it's just going to be a constant, what am I saying? It's not going to be a half hot, it's going to be a full hot switch, something like that. So anyways, this is going to go directly into my plug, all right, just like this. So when I turn the switch off, it's going to turn the power off for this plug. So I'll show you guys that. So basically just going to tie these together, and this is not the best, so I'm going to have to curl this. The plug's not the kind where you can tighten it down with a plate like this one, so I'm going to tighten it down with a screw, just like that. Then I can tighten it down with my screwdriver. All right, so these will be together. So my constant hot is going to go on the top screw of this, and then my plug or my switch is going to send that power directly to the plug when the switch is on. So it's only going to work, both of these will only work when the switch is in the on position. So next I will strip all these out. Like I said, this one goes on the switch, so I can just do that one straight. This one goes onto the plug, so it's going to need to be curled because, like I said, it doesn't have the plate So that one's going to need to hit the screw. A little too much. And then both of the ground screws are going to need to be curled as well, because those usually never have plates unless it's like a GFCI. All right, so now we are ready to go. I'm going to start by putting on the hot wire right here, the constant hot, to the switch, and then tighten that down. And you could probably start with the grounds first to be safe, but I got the power off right now, so we're good. And then just gonna pick a ground wire and put that around the ground screw. And then I like to obviously tighten these down an extra bit. And then I'm going to go back over and put this on my ground on the other device. And this has some paint on it, so I'm going to scrape it off, because the person that did my house did not think it was a good idea to scrape it off, so I will fix that for them. And there we go. Tighten that down. All right, so now we got the grounds, we got the hots, and now last I just have to put on the neutral for the receptacle. And I usually like to throw a wrap of tape around these, just because they're on a metal box. So I'm going to find a piece of tape real quick, and then we'll be good to go. But first I'm going to remove these screws, because these will be reused on the outside of the covers. As you'll see here in a second, I will explain that. I know I haven't really done much commercial stuff on this channel in order, since I've been doing the residential how-tos. So this is kind of skipping some steps here, but you will see what I mean here in a second. All right, so as you can see, I have the cover right here, and these tabs you have to pull off, and just make sure you pull them off right at the joint, otherwise there's going to be little nubs, which is not good. And I like to take my channel locks and just grab it right at the top, and then bend it back and forth, and that always leaves it nice and clean. And you are going to be reusing these tabs to hold on the devices, so don't lose them. And then just continue by doing this 4 times. Got my tape right here, so just go ahead and wrap that around the devices real quick. 1 wrap is good, 2 or 3 is fine, but 1 is really all you need. I usually do like 1.5 maybe. So anyways, just wrap this around the edges of the screws if you so desire, or just make sure nothing touches the edges. As you can see, I have a little bit extra on that neutral, so might throw a little bit extra right there. Basically, you're just trying to make sure none of the metal parts are exposed and are in range of touching anything. So I'm going to wrap this one real quick. Obviously the ground isn't really important, but that will be the part that is going to be causing the damage if it is anything. So covering up the hot screws and the neutral screws, and obviously the ground wire, like I said, is bare, so that is what would be touching and causing the problem. So now we are safe, and now we are ready to go ahead and put this in, and we are going to have to rip off all 4 of these tabs on both of these to get the cover on, because as you can see, it's not going to work without that. So let me go ahead and do that real quick, and it's the same procedure, just line it up to the edge, as we just did with removing the tabs on the industrial raised cover, and you just go ahead and do that 8 times. All right, so once you get all 4 of the corners off, then you are ready to go. And I'm gonna have the plug on the left side because that's where I want it. And when I walk into the room, I'm gonna want to turn on the switch. So I'm gonna have the switch on the right side actually. So I'm just going to gently switch these around. This kind of isn't gonna work that well, but it's gonna look something like that. And then you are ready to go. And these still have the stupid things on there, so I'm probably gonna have to cut those off as well. Never had more problems with a device in my life, so anyways, that's not good. We're gonna try to fold that in or something. I've never had this problem before. All right, so I think we are about ready to go. Just like that. So once you are ready, take your screw that you took out earlier off of the device itself, and then you're going to reuse that screw, and then you're going to take your tab that you broke off of the edge of the plate, and that's going to be your backing, and then you're going to screw that in. I'll show you that here in a second if I can get this going. So you're going to hold your device in place, and then you're going to put that on the back side just like that, and then you are going to go ahead and tighten that down. You can use a screw gun, or screw gun's going to be faster, or you can use a screwdriver. And it's probably going to be easier to start it with it in the crack like this, because it's going to want to spin. So it's going to look something like that. It's going to start to screw in from the back. Just make sure when it gets closer that you're ready to go. So there's that one. Then you're going to repeat the process on the other 2. All right, so there we go. Everything is ready to go here. Now we just have to take off these 2 screws right here, shove the wires back in the box, tighten it down, and we are going to be ready to go and turn the power back on. So let's go ahead and do that. Said I wasn't going to use this $33 cover, but whatever. I don't have time anymore to mess around and exchange this, so I'm going to shove these wires back into the original box, just like that. And then this is going to be ready to screw down. So it's pretty much going to look just like that. I think it's pretty much ready to go. Going to tighten it down a little bit more. All right, and that's pretty much going to be what it looks like. So just like that, I'm going to go turn the power back on. All right, so we got the lights back on, so that's a good sign. Nothing popped on the breaker. As you can see, we've got the switch off right now. Turn the switch on, power comes on. Same thing up here. Just like I said, it's gonna, that switch leg that we made controls both of the hots on this plug, because it's not torn apart in half with the half hot scenario. So now we have a switched outlet, and I can plug in my LED wall just like that, and I can hit the switch and it will turn it on. As you can see right there, we have it with the switch right there. So that's going to be perfect for when I want to come in and make a video. And that's going to be the video tutorial, so hopefully this helped you out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. As always, if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. See you guys back in the next video. Check the description for anything else, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload or do live streams. Thanks guys so much. God bless. Have an awesome rest of your day. Peace.